First of all, I would like to say a very big thank you to the president of Ghana Football Association, Mr. Kett, for giving us that particular opportunity. Because it's a privilege. The coaches are many, and among all the coaches, this particular group was selected to go for this particular program. Then the General Secretary office, he himself and then the office play a very important role. So between that particular two blocks, if things are not going right, you need to stop. Or after the first block, before you get to the second block, that is where you apply the coaching process. You need to let them understand what they need to do before they get into the next block. So basically, this was what we went through, and then also how to manage players and coaches as a whole. Because sometimes when coaching is going on, we think coaching is only about the head coach. But it's not only about the head coach, it's about the game, the training session that you are bringing out. You need to apply, you need to plan it together as coaches, because there are roles that a coach have to play, the head coach have to play, and there's a role that the assistant have to play. Role in our journey from the beginning up to the time we went over there and our trip coming back. And notwithstanding, we cannot forget about our technical directorate. Before we left here, we met the technical director of the FA, who is Professor Minta, and then Dr. Ogum, for their piece of advice. It was well experienced, because to me, going to this particular course, Uefa License B, exposed us to so many things that we were doing, which we were doubting ourselves for what we are doing. There were certain things that we were also doing, which I think things have changed in an old way, and then the new things came through what we have learned over there. So it was a good experience. It was very educative, because it exposed us to new ways of doing things from what we have been doing. And I think we are going to make good use of it, try to change our way of doing things as far as the coaching is concerned.
Kudos to the president for this wonderful initiative and the whole football association, because I believe it was capital intensive. A lot really went, and the football association was, collaboration with the FA to create this platform. I understand it was we are the coaches, careful selected coaches, to go out there and to exchange knowledge, to bring it home, to impact our football. I believe our football is in the right direction. What we went there to acquire, like you said, we have been really, really exposed, right, to the new ways, modern ways of doing the same thing. Football will continue to be a territorial, sports. But there is always a better new way of doing the same thing. The principles of coaching, or the principles of the game, blah, 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 will continue to remain the same. But the methodology, the applications varied. And we were really, really exposed. And in some of the experience, make some of us, but I have to be honest, make some of us felt uncomfortable. But some also, makes us very comfortable that some of the things we are doing is the right way, but some of the things we are also doing, there is a better or a new way of doing the same thing and achieve, a better results. The bottom line is that at the end of the day, the players, we must not make the players worse, but we must make the players better. We started this course, I see it in a threefold.
Yeah, I think we went through the new methodology of tactical periodization, in terms of how a session will go through, especially with regards to specific training, to small sizes game, to a bigger picture of how we want to play. And again, we also went through interventions, as they call it. It means intervention simply means breaks, because there's in coaching or in going through a training session, you need to go through some ways of stopping the training session. That is what we call the intervention. And during that intervention, we have four principles as far as the intervention is concerned. We have the concurrence, where you look at when the coaching is, or when the play is going on, you don't stop the game. You need to, as an individual, if the problem is coming from an individual player, you need to go closer to the player to let the player understand what he or she need to do the right way. That is what they mean by concurrence. And we have another one called the terminal. Terminal simple means you need to stop the game, and then during the break, whatever thing that you are going to give out is the terminal. Then we have another one called the walkthrough. In the walkthrough, sometimes you start it before the session, how you want the session to go, how you want the players to work with responsibilities and roles. Then the last one have to do with coaching process. At the end of the day, maybe you have put the team, the session into blocks, maybe one block or two blocks. Well, the most important thing is to put it into use, because learning without practice is nothing. And people always say that practice made man perfect. And it is not about that. I always disagree with it, because I believe good practice made man perfect. Because the good aspect of it is that we have learned so many things. We have been exposed to so many things. And I think that is what we need to use. That is what we need to impact in our players, both the club level and at the national team level. And again, our colleagues that we have who have not yet gotten the opportunity to take part on it, especially our young coaches. With the young coaches, we can educate ourselves, we can educate each other, we can also share this particular knowledge with them. So that at the end of the day, it will not stay with us, it will go wide as the FA plans, because it is not about we alone. It's about we going to get that particular knowledge, come down, share it with our college coaches. At the same time, make sure that whatever thing that we have learned over there, we'll put it into use with our Vero clubs and then the national team players.
First food we started in January last month, where we engaged our directors via Zoom, and it ran for 3 weeks before we went to Wales to do the contacts, the practice. And we also did it for like 4 or 5 days, purely tactical. Some were in the classrooms. And then the final part is where they have assigned us a task. We have to come to our comfort zone with our class, with our teams, do some session, upload it, and send it to our mentors. The mentors will refine it and add value to it. So it is still ongoing, and we are grateful. I personally am grateful, and I believe the four of us are also extremely grateful. Now, we have to bring it to our clubs, to the national teams. Some of us are already national team coaches. Make sure we impact it, because the essence of knowledge is to apply. If you don't apply it, then the knowledge we have acquired will be useless.
You need more certificates than this. And taking part in this particular course is giving me the chance to also take decision if I'm no more interested in coaching in Ghana and I want to lead the shores of Ghana to elsewhere. It will give me the chance to operate or to coach us. It will give me the opportunity to coach out there. And again, it also gives me the opportunity to also get myself into the shoes of others. Coaching, as we say, if you coach and you're not able to get to the highest level, as far as the national teams and others are concerned, it means you haven't done much. It's going to be something that I expect, or I hope that in future I'll be given the opportunity to be part of the. It is important in my life as an individual, because we are not yet there. When it comes to Africa, we say we have the highest license, which is license A, but it is not enough when you go to Europe. And in our perspective, we call it primary focus and secondary focus. The coach needs to hammer on what we expect to see at the end of the day, or at the end of the day session. The assistant coach have to also look in the other aspect of it. Example, if I want us to play breakthroughs, It means I have to work in the breakthrough as the primary focus, and my assistant coach have to work as how to defend the breakthroughs as the secondary focus. So this was something that in the session we also went to that play a very key role for us to understand, because most of us, we are assistant coaches. Others are also head coaches, so that that kind of relationship will be there between the head coach and an assistant coach, if we are able to understand these roles or the responsibilities, so that going forward we'll be able to know as assistant coach what you need to, how you need to support your coach, your head coach during a training program, and as a head coach how you expect your assistant coach to also work with you during the session. So basically, this was the four basic things that we pick out from there, and that is what we. That's why I in the beginning I said it is something that we already know and we thought we were doing it wrongly, but from what we have learned over there, it means we're already on the right path. But they are trying to bring it in a modern way, and that is what I think we need to also take in good faith, and also try to change how we have been doing our sessions. One of the national teams to also be.
Sponsors were highly exposed. Yes, we have been doing video analysis, we've been observing games, you know, via technology and YouTube, whatever. But when we went there, we realized that here is the right way, but perhaps we need to play more emphasis on it. Most of the sessions, you need to plan it, technology, especially your session plan, like you said. Make sure it's very, very detailed. Make sure it's also pictorial for the players to see. And they said something about the assistants, the key rule planning. It is really, really important. They call it co-coaching. So the head coaches play his role. The assistant is also playing a coaching, and you can watch the session even via video or via technology, and will be chipping and stepping and assisting well. And at the point when you finish, you have to engage with your view or the cameraman. You go back, you review the session, you reshape it, refine it before you bring it back to the player. So it's progressive, and I think technology is playing a key role in the modern football, and we need to
This
update
because
ourselves.
it's not where I think I have to stop. We still have to go, because once we are able to make it through to the UEFA license B, we still have UEFA license A and Pro licensing, which we all hoping that we'll be able to get it in our CV, so that at least when people will be talking about higher coaches in the world, I think we can also be part of it, so that when they leave here to Europe, they will not see something different from what everything that we are doing here, because what everything that the expectations are in the Europe or the big clubs like Liverpool, Real Madrid, and Barcelona and whatever, what they expect players to do. At least once we are able to acquire it and impart it on the players, when they get out here to that particular places, they will not, it will not look something new to them. It will be already used to it, and it will be easier for them to work over there to the international level, especially with the African Cup of Nations, World Cup, and so on and so forth. So basically, it's important. I had the opportunity to go and do the course, and I think I'm going to work with it to see more of this, because
One else is that we have to position ourselves and making sure that the knowledge we've acquired, we've gathered, we go to our respective clubs, national teams, and impart it. I said it in the interview earlier that the essence of knowledge, the essence of going there to acquire knowledge, what is it about? If you don't apply it, if the players don't receive it and make the players better, of what use? So we are going back to our various clubs, national teams, and make sure that we add value to the players. We have to go there and we have the responsibilities. Coaching is very, very key in the modern way. In fact, the right way or the proper way of coaching is the right way to go. Go back to our national teams, go back to the clubs where we interface with the players and add those values. Yes, it's going to be challenging, right? But I believe we are on the right journey.
all right.